God, I'm almost crying because good afternoon, my lovely. So if you know here, you've probably watched my short where I posted about a Kenyan lady that got deported from Germany, unfortunately, despite having come to Germany as a child. So I posted something on my TikTok to trying to explain what I got out of the story and the information that you need to know if you are a migrant in Germany or plan to relocate. And I got huge resonance with many questions, and other people also had something to add from the story after watching it. And I decided it would make more sense if I make a video and explain everything that is on my mind, everything that I want to explain. So if you're wondering, once again, go if you want to know what this whole story is about. This lady was hosted on Lynnngugi Kenya interview. It's the most recent video from Lynnngugi, and I watched it and I got to know about her story about 3 weeks ago, which is very sad. I actually watched it on her channel, and it was at night. I remember crying, not just because of her deportation, but I cried because there's also a child involved, a child that was born in Germany that didn't know any other world apart from Germany. So it was a very sad story to watch, let me put it that way. And one thing I want to put very clear, I'll be putting some of the comments in the video. My narrative, having talked about this or now doing a video about it, I would like to make it clear that I'm not invalidating her story. I'm not invalidating her feelings. Maybe that's the way she perceived things. She has a right to feel the way she feels, and I do feel absolutely terrible for her and her little girl. Definitely, I'm not here to blame her, but for me, as someone that is very passionate about social empowerment and my journey here being about social empowerment, I really had to talk about this because it is very important not to spread the false narrative. I know many immigrants who have come here, integrated, have made it, and then there are people that are even intending to relocate, and when such false narrative goes out there, it is to the detriment of people that actually could have got amazing life opportunities and were willing to put them to good use. So basically, this video for me, as you all know, we're all about social empowerment, is to create some awareness and also give answers to some of the questions I have got. So when she was talking in this video, she created the impression, or she said racism was one of the reasons she got deported. And then she said her mother, which I'll be getting to. And then she said somewhere she didn't know she was actually going to get deported. She just got a letter and they were telling her to leave the country. And then another thing I got, what really infuriated me, is where she said she never got to do any house building because she was being forced to do Altenpflege, that is care for the elderly, just because she's black. If I was light-skinned, you'd see me turn red because that really infuriates me. It is not right to say something like that. So I'm going to talk about these things that really infuriated me and caused me to even react to this video. Racism is never, has been, and can never be the reason why one is deported from Germany. We have racism in Germany, absolutely, just like any other country. But can racism be the reason you get deported? Absolutely not. Germany, just like any other country, just like Kenya, they also have laws that you have to adhere to. I could not fly in Kenya tomorrow just because I'm a black person without a visa. I remember last year I wanted to fly to Kenya spontaneously. And then I realized, oh heck, I didn't apply for a visa and it can take this and this long. And then I canceled the trip. So we all know every country has its laws, and they have nothing to do with color or ethnicity or background. I absolutely don't like the black card narrative, the racism narrative. It is there, unfortunately, but it's never okay to say that's the reason one gets deported. So if you're an immigrant in Germany, in Europe, or intend to relocate, that is never going to be the reason you get deported. I'll be doing a video next week probably explaining what you should do to avoid deportation and what you could do wrong to get deported, but I won't be talking about it now in this video. She talks about her mother didn't support her, her mother didn't want her to have, relationship with her brother, she chased her away and all that. So from the things that I posted, I'm going to go very briefly to that point. Like I said, immigration requires more than relocation. Once you relocate to a country, be it Germany, be any other country, you must integrate. And when it comes to Germany, first step to integration is learning the language. So this lady was in German for more than 10 years. She came as a child. And even in her video, what she posted on her channel, she's saying, well, even my German is not so good because ABC. For me, that is, she failed to integrate, you know. The system offers and offered her opportunities that she could have put to good use. But unfortunately, because of reasons well known to her, probably also being a teenager, it's never easy. And then merging two cultures, the African and the European, I absolutely understand that it must have been tough for her. But fact remains is, she can't say her mother is the reason, or the German government is the reason, or the German people. I find that very disrespectful to a country that gave her a chance and opportunities, which I will be explaining how she got supported through our system, and that is not okay. So what the family should have done in the first place, like I said in the clip that I shared, they should have done everything possible to get her permanent residency and then eventually citizenship before she turned 18. That way she could easily get all these documents based on her status as a minor, you know, through her mother. But once a child clocks 18, they are an adult. They make the decision if they want to become German citizens, if they want to go back home, you know. Just like my kids, I have interracial kids. They have German citizenship, but my children have a right to decide if they want, for example, double citizenship, or if they want to even say, we just want to be Rwandan or just Ugandan and not German, you know. So that's where the family went wrong. Do I blame them? No. Most people don't know the laws. They don't know how the system works. The exact reason why I started my social media journey, to help people out there. I may not help millions, but every journey starts with you and me, you know, so you need information. Then I talked about she should have added value. You came here as a child, you dropped out of school, you never learned the language truly, got pregnant as a minor or slightly, I think at the age of 18 or 19. I could call them mistakes, yes, but those are mistakes that she's responsible for. We are all responsible for our actions and decisions in life. So that was a big mistake, and I'm going to tell you why. So by the time once you turn 18 and you're applying for these visas or extensions or residence, you're applying as an adult, as an individual. So they're going to look at your, let me say, CV, background. Have you integrated? What do you bring to the table? And let's keep in mind, she was also on social welfare, what we call Arbeitslosen Geld 2. There's no way you can get German citizenship or residency if you're depending on the social welfare. You must be able to show proof of employment, or you're in school. She didn't have neither. And then she had a child who was also depending on the taxpayers' money. It is good that we have that system, but if you don't have citizenship, for example, then it can really bite you in the tail. And that's exactly what happened. Then, yeah, she also referred to, I got adopted and my mother just gave me up. What she's talking about, and I'm talking about this because, well, like I said, I'm very well conversant with the law, and my scope of work is in the system, so I know what I'm talking about. She didn't get adopted. What happened is she got into a foster family. She got sent to a foster family, what we call Pflegefamilie. And this can come along as a result of child abuse, which can be physical, emotional, verbal, or sexual. It could be as a result of neglect. When we talk of neglect, we look at, you know, hygiene, we look at clothing, we look at food. Is she getting medical care? Or simply a toxic family situation at which the social worker, or Jugendamt as we call it, decided it would be best for the child, because in this instance, Jugendamt, now I'm going back into my work. I'm having problems speaking English, like I'm almost speaking German because that's how I get it. No, but Jugendamt looks out for the child, you know, because in case you didn't know, that children in Germany literally belong to the state until they're 18, you know. So probably they decided the best solution would be the child to get out of the toxic system. So do I blame the mother? Who is responsible for the toxic system? I don't know the mother. I don't know the mother's story, but it could be both. A toxic family situations, especially by teenagers, comes along. I've seen that quite often, that probably the teenagers get completely out of hand. The parents are overwhelmed. They have absolutely nothing they can do to support this child, because that's our duty as parents. And then after all other measures have been taken, that is important to put out there. Before an inoputnami takes place, inoputnami, that means a child being taken into the system, the parents and family and child are offered support. We have different types of support, which I will not go into. I'll do another video about that. But once all these types of support fail, then the child can be taken into the system. That's very important for me to explain, because I know many families that are so scared of, you know, the child care system and all that. No one is going to take your child away the first day she cries or complains about, you know. We have a system in place that protects the child, but also the family. So in her case, that's what happened. If she had been adopted, like she said, she would have never been deported. Oh my God, you can see I'm very passionate about this. So I always write down my points. I'm a social worker, so I don't want to make mistakes. Another thing that I really wanted to talk about was, yes, one of the biggest mistakes she made, like I said, dropping out of school, getting pregnant at a young age, because that means she gets also responsibility, which overwhelms her, all right? And then, of course, like I said, at 18, you start applying for all these documents and they see you've not added any value, and they realize that you're probably going to be a burden to the system, to the taxpayers, you know, because all the social system that we have here, which is very good, is taxpayers' money. Every single one of us who goes to work contributes to this system. So there are laws in place to make sure that people don't abuse that system, because it's a very good system, and that people who really have no other options but to depend on that system. And then people who are asking, why did she get deported? For me, I can say from her story, the main reason she got deported is, again, like I said, she was already volljährig, 18, you're applying as an adult, your history and your story of, I came here as a child, I came with my mother, I've been getting a visa based on my mother's visa, does not count at all. At 18, you're an individual, your past doesn't count. You have to show proof of integration, proof of employment, and reason why they should actually give you permanent residence or citizenship. In this case, it was also important for me to explain that what she said, that she got deported, that wasn't really deportation. There are two types of deportation. There's the official deportation. You'll be picked from your home or wherever, put on a plane, sent back home. You have no say. And then there's what we call Ausweisung. Ausweisung means you get a letter, like she said, the letter was sent to another address, and she said she didn't know something. It's not true. You know before you get deported. I have clients right now that I'm advising that are in such situations that also came here through false narratives and people who just want to steal their money, but that's a story for another day. So you are contacted and you are told to leave the country with all the reasons why you should leave the country, all right? So the good thing with the Ausweisung and why they do that, it saves, again, the taxpayers a lot of money. A deportation is very, very expensive. That means they charter a plane for maybe 6 people, 7 people, whatever amount of numbers, and have to be flown out, which is very expensive. And Ausweisung is relatively cheap. And I think it leaves you with your dignity, you know. So that's why they offer it. You're told you have time from, let's say, 14th of Jan to 24th of Jan to leave the country. And if you do decide to leave the country on your own, expulsion, you know, then you even get supported. That is like an incentive, you know, to take it up. So normally you're given roughly 750 to 850 euros as support, you know, for you to live freely. You're given the ticket and everything, and then you fly out of the country. That's what happened in her case. If it had been the official other deportation that I'm talking about, although Ausweisung is also under deportation, she wouldn't have gone to the airport herself. We wouldn't have seen her vlogging, which still doesn't mean that it wasn't sad. Of course, it was very, very sad. But looking at her story, what she shared at Lynnngugi, looking at her videos, she messed up a lot. She got opportunities that she never used. Blame it on the hormones, blame it on teenagehood, blame it on clash of cultures. But what one should not do, and that is what infuriated me, is spread a false narrative. Say you got deported because of color. Say you got deported because German people are not nice. She said a lot of that. That is not okay. You got a family fostering you and you're saying, oh, they were evil people. No, I'm not taking that narrative. She also talked about something. She didn't get Ausbildung or didn't get to do any qualification because she was forced to do Altenpflege because she's black. Absolute bollocks, okay? Excuse my language, but it makes me very angry. I have great respect for this country, and the reason is if a country gives you an opportunity, a country gives you a start in life, then you really have to be appreciative and also respect that. Secondly, it's like you are it makes me angry. So let's go back to the point before I derail off. So that's not true. If you are relocating to Germany or you're already here, no one is going to force you to become Alten Pflegerin caregiver just because you're black. Okay, you go to this, she probably was going to job center because she was getting social welfare money. They give you options what you could do. She was still very young. Before the age of 26, they even offer you a free house building. She could have even gone to university. She could have even gone to Abendschule, all taken care of by the taxpayers' money, you know. But she didn't want to do that. She talks of, oh, I wanted to do cosmetics, I wanted to do salon. They would have paid for that too. I don't know why she didn't do it up to the end. So again, like I said, we humans are responsible for the choices we make in life, and it's not okay to put it on the race card. And believe me, I have even a video about racism. It's not okay, but it's also not okay to use that, you know, as the narrative, because you're causing problems for other people that live here and everywhere in the diaspora, and other people that are trying to relocate, because you're instigating something that is not true. So just know, no one is going to force you to be an Alten Pflegerin. And besides, being an Alten Pflegerin is not something to be ashamed of or something derogatory. I have absolute respect for someone who does Alten Pflege, for someone who serves humanity through taking care of the elderly. We all going to become old at some point, if you unfortunately don't die younger. But at some point, we're all going to need care, our parents. So I don't understand what should be terrible about that. I'm not saying everyone is cut out for that. But if someone suggests that, you have a right to say, no, that's not what I want to be a hairdresser, like she said. But no one forces you. And Alten Pflege is a job or a profession where you're paid well, you have so many benefits and incentives, and it is a job where you'll never get out of employment because you'll always be needed. Again, why? We all heading into that direction. If you're 20 today, if you're 30 today, if you're 40 today, at some point, you're going to be aged and frail, and you're going to need someone to take care of you. So allow me to give kudos to everyone out there. Oh my God, I'm almost crying because, I know some people that do this job, even people that have supported to get into the Alten Pflege, to get into taking care of old people, and they're doing a noble job and they love what they do, and it is fulfilling to serve people, to serve humanity. Just like what I do, I'm not earning any money from this social media, but it fulfills me when people DM me or WhatsApp me and they're thanking me and they're asking for assistance, and I can give it to them. So for everyone out there that is taking care of old people, that is taking care of the sick, that is a nurse, I respect you, I appreciate you, and you're doing something noble. And don't ever feel like you are below everyone else or you don't matter, okay? I'm so sorry, but yeah, it makes me very emotional. So I'm confused now. Yeah, so it's very important to know that no one is going to force you to do an house building just because you're black. But like I live by the motto is, you are the sculptor of your own destiny. The decisions you make today will affect your life forever. So whatever choices you make in life, whatever decisions you make in life, just know they're going to affect you. Live up to them, own to them, and stop acting like the world owes you. The world doesn't owe you. Even your parents don't owe you nothing. As a parent, as a mom myself, I know we do our best. My responsibility is to support my kids, to help them as they try to fly, to help them grow their wings, to nurture them. But there are some things that are just out of your hand. If your child is determined to really go on a toxic path, sometimes you can't do anything, you know. So I don't know the mother's story, but I also can't blame her. What I can say is, I know they can't take your child away, like I said, without a reason, which could have been a number of reasons, you know. So I don't know about that, but I also can't solely sit here and blame the mother, having listened to her story. I'm about to finish. So as I conclude this video, someone also asked me, I'm going to put the comment in the video, she said, just let the girl be, she's been through a lot. Yes, she's been through a lot, and I feel very, very sorry for her, and most especially for her little girl, you know. But like I said, we are responsible for the decisions we make in life. I'm glad that she's now on a path where she's trying to build something for herself, and I pray and hope that it works out for her. I pray and hope that her deportation or expulsion experience helps her get things straight in life, helps her get on the right path, and helps her become a better parent for her daughter, compared to what she says of her mom. I hope that experience makes her a better human. As I conclude, I have contact to many people through my work and also just through my social empowerment journey. I know that for many migrant people, especially with African background, it is very difficult to balance the culture differences or the culture parenting ways of the African way and the European way. Personally, I'm very glad we have a system in place that protects minors, but we have people of my background who come here and still believe that spanking, beating kids is a way of parenting. It is never okay. It is wrong. And when I talk to people like, oh, if she messes up, I just slap her. It is not okay. I know that's how most of us were brought up and believe it is okay, but it's not. And then the conflict comes in, which I believe was in her case. You get to Europe, the children know their rights from the age of 0. You know, when they start going to nursery school, they're taught about their rights. Thank God, you know, because through my work, I know that there are all sorts of terrible things that happen to children. So for me, I said, thank God we have a system in place. And then here comes an African mother or father who still believes, I'm the boss, I'm God, what I say is what counts here. And then there's a clash of heads because the child is like, no, we're supposed to talk, we're supposed to have dialogue. Yes, you're my mom, you're my dad, I'm supposed to respect you, but you can't tell me to jump off a cliff and I should jump. You understand? So for my people here, for my parents with migrant background, if you have teenagers or little children, you need to find the balance. I know it's never easy, and especially if you have teenage children, no matter if you have the patience of an angel, sometimes you lose it. I totally get it, but you really have to find the balance. I also have a video about intentional parenting. You can watch it. Yeah, I think I'll end the video here. If you have any further questions as regards the law, as regards this video, someone asked for it long time ago about child custody, like children after divorce or children being taken into Putnam, that means being taken into the child welfare system. How does that work? I'll do a video about that. If you have any particular questions, you ask me. If you have questions about what kind of assistance someone can get if you're having problems with your kids, and like I said, you shouldn't be scared. Nothing will really happen. No one is going to take your child away. I know the system and I'll explain all that to you. Just ask me all your questions in the comments. And once again, to this lady, she's called Kemsi Teshla. That's what she calls herself. I'm sorry about what happened to you. I'm not invalidating what happened to you. I'm not invalidating your story. I wish you all the best. I pray that this terrible experience becomes the door opener for better opportunities in life. And for your little girl, I wish you all the best. As always, we're a social empowerment channel. We are on our road to 10,000. If you're new here, welcome to the family. If you have not subscribed, just support us by subscribing, by sharing, by liking, and by commenting. Until next time, thank you.